Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Crowd Chatter Podcast. And today is going to be another review of the AP poll. We had a huge week last week, a lot of ranked matchups, so we have a decent amount of movement in the polls this week due to just how big of a week it was of football. So let's just get into this. I don't want to take too long with these videos, just because all we're doing is reviewing the poll. It's not like we're really talking about the games. So pretty much, I just don't really take too much time with these videos, just to make them go quicker. So starting off, as I have said, I am changing up how I do these a little bit now. I start from the bottom and then I make my way to the top. So starting off at the bottom, we have Fresno State at number 25, one of the new teams in the polls this week, taking the spots of three teams dropping out this week, being Colorado after getting absolutely pummeled by Oregon. UCLA after they fell short to Utah, and then Iowa getting their own pummeling at the hands of Penn State. But Fresno State joins the top 25 this week at number 25, along with Kansas and Missouri, the arch rivals right there at 23 and at 24 and 23 respectively. Of course, Missouri with their infamous 61-yard field goal to beat Missouri, or not beat Missouri, beat Kansas State. And then Kansas, of course, just with a solid four-game stretch, getting the win over Illinois. And then their latest game, I really don't remember who they played, but they played somebody. Really couldn't tell you who it was. But Kansas in the rankings again. Go figure. Kansas ranked in football again for a second year in a row. Never thought you would see that day, did you? Number 22, we have the Florida Gators going up 3 spots. Tennessee also would go up 2 spots after a win over UTSA. Florida's over Charlotte. Ole Miss and Oregon State both would drop 5 spots after their losses this week to Alabama and to Washington State. Miami, Florida remains undefeated as they go up to number 18. Duke remains undefeated, going up to 17. Washington State, of course, is still undefeated after their huge win over Oregon State at home. North Carolina remains unbeaten, going to number 15. Oklahoma remains undefeated, going to number 14. LSU and Alabama swap spots after a poor outing from LSU, a game of which they'd still win at home against Arkansas. And of course, Bama gained a nice win at home against the Ole Miss Rebels. Notre Dame, after what's got to be probably the most frustrating game as a Michigan fan to ever watch, ends up losing to Ohio State. I still don't know how they managed to throw that game away. But Notre Dame would drop 2 spots after losing at home. Utah, Oregon both would jump up a spot, with USC taking a 3-spot tumble after a poor outing against Arizona State, with the Washington Huskies leapfrogging them at number 7, and Penn State leapfrogging them at number 6. I think Ohio State did too. Anyways, Washington number 7, Penn State number 6. There's Florida State as they would drop 1 spot after somehow they beat Clemson and yet they somehow go down 1. And then Ohio State, of course, going to number 4. Yeah, to me that should be flip flop. Ain't no way Ohio State should be over Florida State. Give me a break. Texas at number 3. Of course, Michigan remains 2, and Georgia remains 1. Another AP poll. These really don't matter. Really the rankings, all in all, don't mean that much until we start seeing the playoff polls, as obviously those are the only ones that have any meaning. Of course, this is the last year with there only being 4 teams in the playoff. As next, we're going to go to 12. But of course, it's still nice to have the AP poll. This is more so for bragging rights, but really it only matters when the CFP rankings come out, and that's really when it actually makes a difference. Right now, it's like, yeah, okay, but the playoff rankings will be where people really start paying attention to how the committee views teams, because then you really know where people are at. I mean, right now, the 8 people is nice and all, but until we get to see what the committee actually thinks of these teams, of which I probably watch more football than all those people combined, um, and that's saying something. But uh, we'll have to see where the committee puts these teams. But we got a long ways up until that point. As of right now, we still have just the 8 people. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, that's all I got. So until next time, adios, everyone.